go here?
I'm bi, actually.
Excuse me. Could the ugly, untalented gays please report to the principal's office?
Hi, I'm Kurt Homo, and I'll be auditioning for the role of kicker.
Hello! Welcome in, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode of Not So Straight Nerds. I am your host, Luke.
And I'm your other host, Alicia.
And today we have a conversation on...
Furrtastic conversation.
Right. On Zootopia 2, the latest Walt Disney animated movie, in what is clearly going to make waves at the box office for 2025.
It is.
We're going to be talking our thoughts on the movie, kind of taking an overlook at animation in 2025 so far, and then start talking awards season, any frontrunners we possibly are seeing. There's a lot to talk about here before we get too deep into that.
Vibe check.
Oh my gosh. How are the vibes, Alicia? Tell me.
I'm feeling furrtastic.
You already did that bit.
I know. I don't have another one. Animalizing. That's not it. I don't have anything.
She's got nothing.
I don't have anything. I'm trying to think of like a roar one, but then I'm just thinking the Roaring 20s.
It's going roarable, actually.
No, actually, I'm in a great mood. We just had to say that because we couldn't think of another bit. No, I'm excited to talk about it. I keep getting buzzes on my watch, and every time I look, it's an email. So I hate that for me.
Gross.
Emails, go away. No, I'm excited to talk about that. We saw this Tuesday. Movies never come out on Tuesday unless it's a big holiday weekend. So, alas, yeah.
Indeed.
know.
And I'm doing great as well.
Yeah.
I've had the entire week off. I've watched so many movies. I've played games. I've watched shows.
Yeah.
I'm living the dream.
Yeah.
I got to play catch-up so well. I've watched so many movies from this year that I missed, and that has just been so fun.
Yeah. I keep looking at my list, and I feel like I'm pretty much down to the only movies I care to watch that I've missed are just from the last couple months. So I've pretty much gathered the whole previous half of the year, or
Nice.
finished, or whatever you want to say. So I'm excited. I'm watching other films that I haven't seen before. I have a list of movies to watch. I'm not going to finish it this week because I keep adding to it. But like I have some biopics I want to get to tomorrow. Finally. Like the Elton John one. I feel like it has gotten brought up so much this year that I need to watch it. I hate that you have to rent it though. All the streaming services. I'm like, one of them didn't want Elton John.
Crazy.
Anyways.
Yeah. So, before we get started on these conversations, we're also going to put a spoiler warning. We're going to talk spoilers on Zootopia 2, also Zootopia 1.
Yes.
If you haven't seen either, honestly, do that. They're pretty great movies.
What are you doing?
They're pretty universally loved.
Yeah.
So if you like animation, give it a shot. People love this movie.
Per.
So you've been warned.
Per. Literally. I'm feeling perfect. There it is.
Right.
Just a little bit late. It's okay.
So, I wanted to start this conversation quickly kind of recapping our thoughts on Zootopia, the first one.
It was very fun. I can see why it's very well liked. Obviously, it has a lot of, whatever you call it. Overseas really likes it.
Yes, it
I
has a
don't know
lot
how
of
else to say
international
that.
appeal.
Yes, thank you. No, I can see why people really liked it. I think Nick and Judy, first of all, the voice actors they got for that, I think are perfect. I think obviously people really like them, some in normal ways, some in, not so normal ways. I still remember seeing that video of that little disclaimer in that apartment building where they're like, stop watching videos.
Of Judy.
Yeah, poor Judy, honestly. I mean, Nick gets it too, though. Like, he certainly...
I mean, certainly. I mean, Disney made another Fox for people to thirst over.
Yeah. So, but they know what they're doing with that, like with the eyes. People are like, why? But it's a fox. I'm like, they know what they're doing. The animators know what they're doing. Anyways, so yeah, it's certainly a phenomenon for many reasons. And I just think the story's pretty solid too. I think the animation's good. Because they're animals, I think the animation could still be well liked. I say that because I feel like when they've animated humans in the last few years, people are starting to complain more and more that is outdated. Like with like the chubby looking faces, like it's certainly like a style they're doing. I don't personally care. I've never been bothered by it. I'm like, if it looks good, why do I care how many times they've used it?
Especially
something
if
to
they're
be said
doing
there.
other interesting things with the animation, like I think of like
Yeah.
all of the visual effects of Frozen and like all of the beautiful like scenic stuff and the stuff they
Yeah.
do with ice and the creatures, and then like Encanto
Yeah.
with all of like the lights and the powers that they use. I think it's interesting to focus so hard on like the character designs in
Yeah.
regard to, you know, liking or not liking an
happening.
animation
Yeah.
style, especially when it's these. I would say Disney movies are really good at flooding the background with a lot of other like details or
Yeah.
things to be drawing your attention to.
Yeah.
Like
For
I remember
sure.
with Elio, there was a big conversation on like the bean face.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. That and Turning Red, Soul, like, I guess kind of.
And these are all
Luca.
Pixar though.
Yeah,
Not Walt Disney.
that's true. But and this is
Walt Disney.
Walt Disney, not Pixar, right? So, just something to point out because I know some people are complaining about that, but they can't really do that here because there's no humans. It's all animal.
Eh.
So
And I will say it's a very fun excuse to have your characters look very wildly different from each other,
Yeah.
which I think is always really fun.
yeah,
But and I love how referencey, I guess,
Like
just
the
like the
Godfather
details of Zootopia is.
oh yeah,
Like, and I like it because it's not in any way where it feels, I would say, kind of cameo festy. Like I think people complain, like Deadpool and Wolverine or like Free Guy is, where it's like, oh, references. But it's like if you don't get it, you don't understand like what's actively happening in the scene. I feel like if you don't get the reference, like kids don't understand most of the references.
Yeah.
But I think that adds to like the family movie aspect of it, where it's like it's not a kids movie, it's for the family to go to, and it's something for everyone to enjoy.
yeah,
Like your like dad who loves The Godfather, he's gonna get a kick out of the little rodent guy. I think it's really fun when movies put in the energy to make animated movies family movies instead of just aimed at children.
yeah,
I think that's a big problem that we both had with, I would say, we'll get to it, but I would say some of the lower animated movies on our list this year.
yeah. Yeah, I agree. It's like animation can be family friendly without it, and it doesn't always have to be. Obviously, there's more of a rise lately of adult animation, and there's plenty of movies like Gabby's Dollhouse. I think is well, I mean that's not fully animated. It's a little different, but it's okay to like center to children. It's okay to center to adults, but with movies like this, where a lot of people are gonna go see it, I think it's fun to make it family friendly, but still very much enjoyable for all family members.
And I think that
So.
there's I think there's actually a lot of value to that, especially in the fact that like it allows the kid to continue watching it as they grow up.
Yeah.
It builds a great bond. I think that's why Disney is so like beloved, and like a bunch
Yeah.
of those animations like I always forget his name, but the director behind like the Ghibli films, like people who grew up watching that still adore that.
Yeah.
DreamWorks, I would say, is in a very similar boat, where you like grow up watching these movies, and the more you grow up, the more you can understand
Yeah.
kind of what the movie's trying to say, and I think that's really cool to do. So I think there's so much value in that. Like I don't think any kid's going to continue to watch the Gabby's Dollhouse movie as they
No,
grow up.
Probably not.
But to be fair, that's an existing brand. I will say there's some movies this year that
Got
that
it. We're on the same wavelength.
I think kind of like assume the worst of children, and like
They for sure dumb it down for them, which is unfortunate because I feel like what makes so many older Disney films so like beloved even now, is because obviously you can still enjoy it as a kid. You can still understand when there are sad moments, but as you grow up, you understand more depth about what's happening in those scenes. You can discuss the themes more in detail, and then certain other movies not so much. What's there is what's there, and there's not much else to that.
Yeah.
So it's a shame.
But then specifically circling this back to Zootopia 2.
Yeah.
Or Zootopia 1.
Yeah.
The themes there, I think, are very bold, especially for the time.
Yeah.
Because it speaks a lot to, I would say, I'm trying to think about the best way to say, but like demographic differences in the way that like minorities can be perceived. Which I think is very bold for a Disney movie.
Yeah.
Especially because Disney is notoriously known for trying to avoid risk at essentially all costs.
Yeah. There's some movies oh my gosh, I hate to bring this film up because it's not my favorite film, and you know this. But I'm bringing up the Better Man film because I think they're however I feel about how they executed it in the movie, the intention behind I wanted my character to be a monkey because I feel like people would sympathize with my story more. I think there is something to be said about that. I think that is a really good point, and I think when executed well, it's very powerful. Like, I think certain people would not be as open to a film like Zootopia if it was not about animals.
Sure.
Not with animals. Whatever.
Like, there is an element that I think you see in a good amount of people where it's like, because it's not explicitly labeled that it's supposed to be relating to real life, they're not going to make that connection.
Yeah.
But I think it's also interesting that it kind of avoided any backlash from those audiences.
Yeah.
And then the second one I would say goes to also a very similar theme that continues to be very relevant.
Yeah.
And I haven't heard anything on that end either. So I think that's very interesting.
Yeah.
That it's somehow able to sidestep, and especially since it is still Disney doing that message. It feels almost it's very out of character for them to double down on such a
It almost does. That's one
big
thing I will
message.
say I think did genuinely bother me. Not about the film, so I didn't really critique the film because of this, but it does distract me as an audience member seeing these powerful messages and just remembering that it's coming from Disney of all places, and it does kind of damper my experience. Again, I tried not to like critique the film because it's, I'm trying to treat it as its own thing, but it is distracting me, like, wow, that's so powerful, and then it's coming from Disney, who just couple months ago fired Jimmy Fallon for not Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel for stuff.
Yeah.
So,
but I do think it's important to recognize that the art that comes out of studios, even though it's being funded by studios, there are thousands of people who are putting their love into these projects.
Yeah.
That have like absolutely no control over what their company does.
Yeah. They're just trying to make a powerful film, and I think that should be celebrated. That's why I didn't want to critique the actual film, because they're doing their part and they're doing a great job. So,
but I think it's fascinating. I'm really interested to see, because we haven't even gotten through the first weekend of the film yet. But I'm interested to see if anything ever kind of gets in that realm of conversation.
Yeah,
especially
I'm sure
because
it's out there somewhere. It'd be interested to see if we could go digging for it maybe in a few days, because I feel like I don't know if it would just naturally pop up on our feeds. So maybe we might have to be like, are there conversations about this, just to see. I'm sure it's out there somewhere, however buried.
But yeah, Zootopia 1 I think is so fun. I think the idea of a zoo-esque city is great.
Yeah.
I think it has great world building. I think it's very believable that all of these creatures could live in this environment. I love the different cities, like the different parts of the Zootopia. Like the tiny village I think is so fun. think the rainforest we got to see a little bit in the first movie was also very fun.
Yeah. I mean, it's like the best parts of Elemental. Like that, there's a reason that people were comparing the two. I think there's a lot of similar ideas there.
Oh, absolutely.
But it's just very fun to see such different characters interact, I guess, and how they coexist. Do they coexist? Like things that come from that. So
Absolutely.
yeah. Interesting. And of course, it allows the film to create a lot of animal puns. So
Yes.
yeah, which is always very fun. I feel like it never gets old. I'm like, that's a good reference. So,
And then also, I want to talk about that banger in the original.
oh, the song, of course.
Yes. Shakira being in this movie is so fun.
Yeah.
And
I love that she's an actual character too, and not just, featured in the song in the credits.
yeah,
Like
and it's
she's-
Try Everything. That's what the song
Yes.
was. I was trying to remember.
Yeah.
But what a banger.
Song. Yeah. So good. Very good pick.
Yeah. So going from Zootopia into Zootopia 2, what were your expectations?
I was very excited. In the back of my mind, I'm always a little nervous, because it could be like an Inside Out 2 where it just completely elevates what the first film started to do, or it could be a Moana 2, which is quite the opposite. So there's always a little bit of nervousness, but I was hearing good things, and I knew either way that it was going to be big and make some noise. I was just hoping it would deserve that noise, not quite like Lilo and Stitch, for example. And I do feel like it deserved that noise. I feel like my expectations were met. I would not say they were super, super exceeded, but I was not disappointed at all either. So I was thoroughly satisfied.
Nice.
Yeah.
I was very excited for it. I think I would say that my expectations were maybe a little higher than yours.
Okay.
Because I love the snake. I think
Yeah.
expanding it into reptiles is such a fun idea, especially because I remember Zootopia came out and then Sing came out, and they were like, "We have all animals here," and I was like, "That is interesting. Where where are all the fish, all
Yeah.
of the like the birds and the lizards? What's happening here?"
Yeah.
And it's very interesting now that they go into that.
Yeah. I will say, I mean, Sing, I feel like the direction of their story is way different. It doesn't really allow a crazy amount of room to explore the dynamics there versus Zootopia. That's like what the story is telling. So little differences there, but I'm glad they answered that question. However long it took, almost 10 years. So
Gosh. But I was so excited for Larry the Snake. I will say,
yes. And who is voicing Larry the
yes,
Snake?
Ke-Huy Kwan. I think he does great work here.
Great pick. And the timing of announcing his casting, I think, was perfect. So
Ke-Huy Kwan, I think, does really fun voice work. Because he was here. He also did voice work in Electric State. But I still thought his little
he was
character
fun
was
in
cute.
that, but
And then he was
else.
also in Kung Fu Panda 4.
Right, he was.
So he's kind of on a voice work
Yeah.
kick right now. And honestly, he has such a unique
It's very
voice.
fun. Yeah. I think in
so I think
any
he's very
movie, animated or not, he just stands out if nothing else because of his energy and because of his fun voice. I love it's just so. It's like Aquafina. I know some people are annoyed with her voice. I personally, don't. I mean, depends on what she's doing with it, I guess. She's trying to be annoying or not. But I think it's like very similar where they're just so like, that's that person. Like, their voice. And I love when that happens. So, yeah.
So going right into this, what are some of the good parts of Zootopia 2 for you?
They continue to explore more of Nick and Judy's development, which is really fun in different ways. I think it's interesting. I want to hear more discussion just in general around this film because I want to see if anyone else was kind of picking up on the fact that I feel like Judy was actually not so likable at parts in this movie. I was pretty upset with her, actually, in a good chunks of this movie. I think, obviously she had great intentions for what she was doing and what she was fighting for, of course, but in doing so she was hurting Nick a lot. I wish maybe they touched on that a little bit more. I feel like, the reunion was just very emotional, so there wasn't really a crazy ton of room to be like, I heavily wronged you, I'm so sorry. It was definitely more of just like, I did this, let's make up. So I wish I touched on that a little bit more, but it's okay. I still love them. I love their dynamic. I think the therapy scene was so fun, even though obviously we already saw that in a teaser trailer. I think it still hit just as much in the film. I love seeing Quinta Brunson here. I think she also has a very, very distinct voice. I feel like I would always be able to pick her out in places. She was great here. I forgot the name she uses. She's like,
Dr. Fuzby, I think.
Has chosen, the character she was talking to. She's like, this person has chosen violets. Karen, let go. Can we get the hose? I love that. She's great. They have another huge movie reference. I guess I'm okay saving that until, even though we're in spoiler territory. But like the first film had The Godfather, this one has another really fun reference, and I have seen people talk about that.
Interesting. I feel like I don't know what you're talking about.
In the maze? I'll just say The Shining. It was The Shining, and it was in the maze when he was like crazy eyes. I loved that. And I feel like I heard a few reactions. I mean, some of them might have just been like, oh my god, this person's trying to kill them. Like, that's crazy. But I feel like some of them were like, they're doing a reference to The Shining. And I love that. So they brought back Mr. Big. Speaking of the references in the film, that was fun. They brought back Flash. They even
Gazelle's
brought
back.
Yes, of course. They brought back the sheep from the first film.
Yes.
With, forgot her name.
Jenny Slate.
She's great. I almost wish she was like a nice character so she could be in it more, because I also love her voice and would always be able to pick out her voice in places. Obviously, Ki Hui Kwan as the Snake, Larry the Snake, and they had Andy Samberg, I believe his name is, as a lynx.
Yes, Pobbert.
Which is fun. Pobbert. See, they have like fun little names. I'll never get sick of that. Also, I noticed you put Does Snake, Larry Does Snake. Is that how it's credited?
That's what it says on the mailbox.
That's really fun. I don't know why, but that just gives like a
Larry
little
what?
extra, like,
DeSnake.
DeSnake.
What's your last name? DeSnake.
DeSnake. I love that. I liked the goat, and someone was tweeting that they were disappointed that they didn't do a screaming goat reference.
Oh, people would have hated that.
Yeah, I feel like that's overdone. I feel like what they did was, like, with them moving so fast was just as much fun.
I remember seeing whenever, like, those characters were, like, revealed, like, in, like, the trailers or whatever, I remember someone being like, it would be really funny if they went for, like, a really calm goat. Like, these were just like, hey, chill out. Like, complete opposite.
Yeah.
No, but I thought they were still fun.
Yeah. I liked the exploration of the different reptiles, like the lizard that was like, we're all completely normal. With the walk.
Love his run.
I also liked, they talked more about turtles. They had a little section with, I think, the sloths and the turtles both being slow but figuring it out in their own ways. I feel like I remember that. It was very quick, though.
Ironic.
Yeah, ironic. I like that Flash is a really fast driver. Was that in the first film? I don't remember.
Yes, because at the very end they like pull over someone speeding in a hot rod, and then it turns out to be him.
That's really funny. Well, I'm glad they brought that back then, because that was a great bit. I like Mr. Big's daughter, the kiss my
Yes.
First of all, the delivery of that is
and
hilarious.
I love every time that they go into, do what she say.
She said.
Great bit.
No, and that she was crawling all over him. It reminded me of my cat, Berlioz.
Yes.
That's what he does to me at night. He's like, I'm, no longer 2 pounds, so let me just lay on your neck. I'm like, Burley. I can't. Yeah, there's a lot of it to love in this film. I feel like I would not say it takes an extra step to further the ideas from the first film, like in the way that Inside Out 2 did. But I still feel like this continues it and branches on in a different way. And I hope they continue that exploration because I feel like there's still so much more to be done. It just reminded me the Coca-Cola polar bear.
Yes, that's a good bit.
And then, of course, Robert Furwin.
Batty.
I mean, just coming off of that Dancing with the Stars win, that was great.
Great timing.
Actually, we didn't know that going into the film.
Oh my gosh.
Mirrorball winner Robert Furwin. Anyways.
I would say, what I really love about this movie, and I think I love its expansion of looking at the other biomes.
Yeah.
Because we spend so much time in like the basic city. We go to like Mouse City, Rainforest.
Yep.
But that's kind of it in the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Here I really liked getting a chance to look at the other biomes. We spend a lot of time in Tundra Town.
Mm-hmm.
We go to the Sahara Desert for a little bit, the mountain biome.
Mm-hmm.
We spend a good amount of time in the specifically the what is it? The Mush Market, what I label it as, Marsh Town.
Ooh.
Loved that place a lot more than I thought I would. And like the
hey bub.
Hey, bub. Hey, bub, 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 bub.
It's giving that my.
No, I feel like that easily could have been really annoying, but it was funny every time.
Yeah.
And I love the sea lions. The idea, the seals. I'm a sea lion. We had elephants.
They're so offended.
It's
I
just
love
so fun.
that.
And then the lizard, in like the sinking ship, I thought was so fun. All of them, like the lizards being like, "You're warm," and then being weirded out by them. I thought
we
was
are
very fun.
eternally grateful.
Yes,
That's what it's giving.
Very similar.
Yeah. Yeah, I would love if they explored more. I think they still have a lot to explore, honestly. Like maybe more of like the Arctic creatures. Like you said, you mentioned fish. They haven't really explored under the sea. They haven't super explored like in the sky, birds, flying creatures.
But they soon will.
They could.
But I also want to say we didn't see a ton of it. But I also really liked the reptile town.
Yeah.
I thought it was really fun detail that like it's very important for the lights to be working for them because they're cold-blooded.
Yep.
And then like so much of their town is like designed around having the lights. I thought that was just a really fun little design thing.
Yeah.
And then like the snake design of their houses I thought was fun. Like they had the rug that was like the like the snake shape. I thought the designs are just so fun here.
Yeah. I will also say I was briefly confused why only one singular snake attack caused all of their species to be banned. However, I do think obviously they have a really good explanation in the film. It's not just like one random attack, then like it's a very, I don't know what I would say. Well, first of all, we're in spoiler territory, so it's not even a real attack by the snakes. But also the family that they said was targeted is very powerful and important. So then that causes they're stealing something, and it's because it made me think like, surely several other animals have committed crime, but then
Yeah.
So it makes a lot of sense in the film. It's not like, why is this one important?
I really liked the scene where he's looking like the metal book and it's like getting heated up in his eyes. I thought that looked
cool.
great. Every time he did the heat sensing, I thought it looked really cool. I liked Burning Mammal. I thought that was very fun. The festival happening out in the desert.
Yep. That was fun. It's like, what do you say? It was like Coachella?
I thought it was going to be Goatchella, but they went instead of Burning Man, it's Burning Mammal.
Yeah.
I thought that was really fun. Gazelle was there again. Still a real one. Still a baddie.
Still a baddie.
I also really liked the design of like the
zebras.
party. I thought like the ice theme felt very like, oh, this feels fun.
They definitely don't want snakes here because it's cold.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Very interesting.
Yeah. Very fun times. We didn't get to see a lot of Bogo, which is a little bit of a bummer because I love Idris Elba's voice acting.
Yeah. I will say I almost wish we could sit down with Robert Irwin, but anybody who knows a lot about animals, because I feel like there's probably a lot of animal dynamics that are explored here that are also real in real life. I'd be interested if the since we're in spoiler territory, the lynxes, if they're also like shady in their
because they were saying that they're territorial animals, which I think cats typically, like big cats typically are.
Yeah.
And I like the idea of like leaning
Heck,
that into
little
like
cats too,
expanding
that's
your
why-
land.
That's why house cats, they like tall towers because they like to feel in charge.
Mm.
So in their mind, they are in charge. So
No, for sure.
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's most of my good parts. Next question. Are there any bad parts? Or I would even say, like, parts that didn't live up to what you wanted them to be.
I don't know. I mean, I already mentioned the thing with Judy. Like, I wish maybe she apologized a little bit more. I don't know. I feel like maybe Larry the Snake was a little bit underutilized for what my expectations were. And I just feel like maybe the whole reptile species could have been used a little bit more, just to add a little bit of screen time, perhaps. Because, I mean, this was under 2 hours, so it's not like it was already too long. I think you could have added even just like 5-10 more minutes and just had a little bit more screen time of them. So, but I mean, that's kind of me being nitpicky. I feel like, because I rated this 4 stars out of 5, I feel like the only reason I did that, from what I can remember, is just that this film like didn't exceed my expectations. It was like solid. I liked it. I would rewatch it. I think it's pretty much on par with the first film, but it didn't have that extra. I don't even know what you would call it. Like
Je ne sais quoi.
Je ne sais quoi. Like Inside Out 2 with the anxiety exploration. I thought that was like that shocked me when I saw it. So I didn't have like that shock factor that I guess I was looking for, always hoping for.
Yeah.
So
I would say, and I'm curious to see how you feel. How do you feel about Nibbles being like in the core ensemble of our movie here?
Oh, I thought she was fine.
I think fine. She falls under the category for me where it's like, didn't like. I think she's like, I don't like her as much as everyone else to a point where I think it's noticeable.
Okay.
Or notable, I'll say.
I will say I think it's really funny that she got like left behind and she was like, I'll do it myself. Don't worry about me, guys.
I think the voice acting
like,
is very funny, but I
yeah.
feel like it felt kind of weird that she didn't, I think, connect to our main characters the way I would say Larry does.
Mm-hmm.
So it feels a little odd.
Yeah.
Like I don't feel the connection of why she's here this entire movie.
Yeah, perhaps
and I was very
she should've-
surprised that she lasted as long as she did.
Yeah, I honestly was not expecting to see her past, her getting them
To the ship.
Yeah. And I feel like maybe that's where she should have stayed.
I think I don't mind that she came here. I just wish it was maybe a little more like
she had
emphasized
more to
of
do,
why she felt
why is she still here?
Because there's a conspiracy nut, but there's not like an added like, obviously they're here to clear their names. He's here to like help his species.
Yeah.
And then she's just like the crazy girl here. So I would have liked a little bit maybe more depth.
It's like a
tickling
little
onto why she's
comedic
here.
relief, but We always
But
hope for a little more than that.
But the thing is, all of the three other characters, I think, also provide good comedic relief when they need to.
Yeah.
So it feels like that there's just a little something missing.
Yeah.
I just want to have a
They're
little bit.
all funny, but 3 of them have extra depth, and she does not.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's very fair.
Trying to think if there's any other bad parts, I would say.
How did you feel, like, good or bad, or just fine with it, about the twist?
The twist. I will say, I think it's a little on the nose, I think, to do another twist like that where it's like, and especially to call it out so aggressively. It's like, oh yeah, we've been betrayed by people we trusted in the past. And it's like, oh really? Ha!
Yeah.
I'm like,
it felt very like, it reminded me of that scene in Scream 5 where they're like, I'm not Ghostface, and she's like, I know, and pulls out the gun. Like, that felt very, like, aggressively that.
yeah. And I know some people love that scene. I don't
think it sticks out to me. I also kind of think it was like, okay, whatever. I wouldn't necessarily call it bad, but I think it's just a little disappointing because it could have been better. It could have been unique, and it wasn't.
I will say I think maybe it's an execution that I don't like it. I don't mind that they're using the trope again. I wish they didn't call it out before they did it.
Like, imagine being betrayed again.
It's like, yeah.
I think that line being right before it happens is like, okay.
Because I do really like the idea, and I think I'm a sucker for the trope when the villain and the hero are accidentally on the same wavelength. And the idea that when you hear someone else saying what you believe, like, it can make you completely redefine what you think. It's like the Batman. The idea of, like, you know, who are you? I'm vengeance. Like, hey, no, that's my thing. Wait, that's my thing. Am I the problem here?
Yeah.
And I think I love that idea here, the idea of trying to fit in and caring so much about what people think and getting overboard with that. I think that's like the heart of the film.
Yeah. I maybe wish, because they had Larry the Snake say that line. I think he was the one who somebody said the line where they're like, you don't have to be like the rest of your family. And it was such a...
Judy said that.
Okay. It was such a distinct line. And I feel like now that you say it's Judy, I love that she says it, because I feel like sometimes her family, that's kind of her arc too, is like, society thinks bunnies have their place in society, not as a cop. But she really wants to be a cop, and that's like, they explore that arc heavily in the first film. So for her to be saying that, I think is great. But I don't feel like that was really explored here, I guess.
Well, it's with her, it's not about, you don't have to be like other bunnies. For her, it's you don't have to be like other cops. You don't need to be perceived as this big officer, especially if you're already there. And the idea that she's putting so much on the line and risking so much of everything else. Like, what's his name? I keep forgetting his name. I want to say like Poston, but it's Paubert. What a name. But the idea that they're throwing away like genuine connections over the thing they're trying to fit into. Yeah. Like, I think that's very relatable, especially to young people. Like, that's very like high school, middle school clique behavior. Look at It, Welcome to Derry. Please look at It, Welcome to Derry.
Yes,
it's so great.
So good.
But I think that's very relatable, especially to a young audience.
Yeah. I wish maybe they explored that a little bit more, but not that he like has to have a change of heart, because people are not always gonna have a change of heart. But I don't know, like, I loved that line, and it just made me think more on that idea. But then I feel like the movie didn't explore more on that idea, so I was left a little bit empty on that.
I disagree, because after that is whenever she goes into the thing where Nick risks his life to save her life, and then I like the idea of like it's giving the For Good song in Wicked, where it's like, we messed up, we almost lost each other, and that's what's important here. And they go into like a vulnerability back and forth, which I actually really like.
Oh, I'm talking about the Lynx. Like, I wish maybe he explored more with him. With like,
I don't
maybe
know.
not having to fit in, but
It's also giving, I think, Lightyear, which I also like that whole twist more than most people as well. But I like the idea that the difference between her and Pobbert
good job.
is that, she's able to look inside of herself and want to change for the better, and he's not. And frankly, coming from that family, that's...
What a loser!
But I like that.
Shame.
I think directly the change comes from her connection to Nick, which is very for good coded.
For good. They should post about that.
For good.
'Cause exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Any other parts? I can't think of many more.
I don't think so. Also, if I'm thinking about things that make me think about other movies, I liked the escape scene with the reptiles. Well, first of all, I like that they're good at investigating, I guess, but they kept leaving clues behind, like the Nick's hat, I think.
Yes, his
and
bucket
then
hat.
the carrot thing. I'm like, guys, you're a little bit amateur. You're a little bit of amateurs right here. I also don't. I guess in hindsight, I don't care as much. In the moment, I didn't like how easily they left Nick behind. I felt like they could have tried a little bit harder to get Nick. But in hindsight, I'm like, well, one of them was a bad guy, so maybe that's why he's like, yeah, I don't care. We don't need him. And then there was something else and I forgot. It's okay. It's fine. Clearly, it's not that important if I just forgot. So.
I really like the themes here. I would say like the main theme here is
I remembered
Oh, go for
what I was originally starting to say, and then I went off on a tangent. When they escaped the reptiles, went through like the tunnels in the water, and how quickly that happened. It almost felt like they had a plan in place. I'm sure maybe they did, but it just felt almost sweet how like it just made them feel like a community to me. And I was like, oh, that's sweet. They're working together to escape. Anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the main theme here, I think, is the strength that comes from being different. Some might call that diversity. But I think that's really important. I think it's really fun to see from a city, because I think cities inherently collect people from very different backgrounds. And I think obviously there's communities in that, which I think is the whole like appeal of Zootopia, that there's all of these different people and all of these different places, but they intermingle in a way that's very satisfying, which people can say the same about why they love, cities and those kinds of big metroplexes. And I think the movie does a great job of kind of expanding on why that's a good thing, and especially to a way I think that's approachable to children and to people who don't understand that.
And it explores the idea that just because society looks at certain people, animals, whatever you want to say, as outcasts, it doesn't mean that they're valid for that. It doesn't mean that they should be outcast. Doesn't mean that they are evil if people are saying they're evil. Whether it's coming from the hate in their heart or widely spread information or whatever, misinformation. Yeah.
That whole aspect is actually also very wicked coded. Literally outcast coming in and stealing a book.
Yep. So, anyways.
Vulnerability. I super love the vulnerability, just how important it is to recognize the people that are important to you and verbalize that they're important to you. I think that's always important. Hey, call your mom. She misses you. Or
anyone in your family that you like and likes you.
And then There's also an element here of like agree to disagree. I think obviously in modern day people recognize that there's a hard limit to that. But I think here there's a really important element, I would say, and I keep saying it, in the for goodness of it all, where it's like, you know, if you're important to each other and you like really care about each other, there should be some things that just like shouldn't and can't break that bond. And you should just make sure you know, like, if there is something that you're disagreeing on, is it more important to you than like your bond with the other person?
Yeah. And sometimes that answer is yes, and sometimes it's like, I need to think about that more.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, obviously here that there's not really a place to explore the when that line is too far.
Yeah.
That might be something worth looking into in another Zootopia. I think Zootopia is actually a great place to explore that.
Yep.
But I think it's a good start to that conversation.
I also think it's interesting the amount of times we've compared this movie to For Good, because I remember before we saw Wicked for Good, we saw somebody from the House of Cinema rate it 2 stars. We were like, no way. And then we were like, well, we watched the film. We were like, well, maybe. And I went to that again the other day and saw another member of that podcast post their written review. And they were, I think it might have been the same person. Anyways, they were basically comparing it to Zootopia and saying, or maybe it was in the Zootopia review. I don't know. Doesn't matter. They were basically saying that this film has very similar themes and explorations as For Good, but this film does it much better. And I personally would agree with that.
I think so.
I know, like, I dislike it more than you.
And in any case, it's a lot more, I think, constructive than I think For Good is. I don't know. I think it's so...
And a lot more approachable for more people, I would say. Obviously, children, but I think even for adults, too, I think they'd be more open to seeing and exploring these themes in this atmosphere versus For Good.
Yeah. And in any case, this takes a much more positive outlook on the ability to fight that,
It's
which
true.
I think is always super important when you're talking about things that are real. Whereas Wicked ultimately ends with like, hey, people have to think you're dead to get over their existing biases.
Yeah.
And here
Which is hard because obviously like that had to kind of be the ending. I mean, if you're going to do an adaptation of it, like that's the ending. But it doesn't make it any less.
But you kind of, but I think it's so important to get through the work to like to make it like that has to happen.
Yeah.
And I think this sets its seeds a lot better than I think For Good does.
Yep, I agree.
Which I think is embarrassing because that had an entire movie beforehand to set seeds. And they're great seeds. But oh well.
Anyways, that's very true.
Going through, we talked a lot about our characters here. I don't think there's anyone we need to come back on. Marshtown, reptiles are fun. Reptile Town.
No.
What is your
problem? I love Flash. Anyways,
what is your favorite like place of Zootopia? Like the different biomes, if you had to pick one.
oh, I don't know. It's been a hot minute since I've seen the first Zootopia, if I'm being honest. Here for sure, like the Marshtown, I think was very fun. Just because it was new. I wish we saw a little bit more of that, I guess. But it was still fun getting a peek at that community. I think who's Idris Elba's character again? Because he was in this too.
Yes, but he was out really quick because he got fanged.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Well, I don't know. I feel like I always come back to like Mr. Big, the little whatever they're called.
I have no idea what they're called.
God, I should know what they're called. I don't. They're not possums, are they?
No, they're just
they're way too small for that. But their noses kind of look like that little pinkness. Don't know what they are.
They kind of give the Big. Goggles mole from G-Force a little bit.
I do. Wait. Maybe that's what they are. I don't know.
They're not moles. They're some kind of
Okay.
mice things.
I don't know. I love that family though. I love every time we see them. So
Yeah, I would say my favorite is definitely Marshtown.
yeah,
It feels super explored, and I love seals. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
the seals do a lot for me.
it's so funny. They're just offended at everything.
And then there's also
Well, not at everything. Nick just finds the buttons to offend them in
Yeah.
every way possible.
and then I also really love the bit of them like under the water in like their little cafe. And
Yeah.
then the like police swim
Poor
by and then they like
guys.
go flying,
Like,
but they don't react to
whoa.
it.
So I wonder if that happens often. Because, I mean, like, the hippos swim through water. And, well, that was the hippos that went there.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know.
Other things.
Very fun. Other question, who was your favorite returning character here? I would say beyond like our main characters.
Oh, yeah. It's okay. I wasn't going to pick them anyways. Sorry, guys. Although I love Nick and Judy. This movie, way more so Nick. Judy was pissing me off a little bit. Anyways, you already know that. I would say it's really close between the daughter of Mr. Big or Flash again. They're both here very briefly. Probably Flash, I guess. I don't know. They both have really good, like the
I
Kiss
also
My
think,
Ring and the No Problem bit are really
Bellwether
funny.
coming back was really fun with the whole Hannibal reference. Super fun.
Yeah. I like that her entire room was made
Wool.
out of like her wool. Maybe her wool, maybe not. I don't know. I'm guessing probably her wool because she needs a haircut at some point. But, yeah, very fun.
Yeah, very fun returns. Who was your favorite guest cameo that is new?
I mean, obviously Robert Irwin. Who else? There was another actor though that. Oh, wasn't it Michael J. Fox? See,
Michael J. Fox as the Fox.
I don't remember him in that film. That's my problem.
He was in the jail scene. He was like across from them at some point.
Hey, I'll have to rewatch it and look at that because I was really excited for that and then I forgot about it.
I clocked that.
But obviously Robert
the
Irwin.
new mayor was also very fun.
Yeah.
Patrick Warburton, I think, is who voices him. He's Joe from Family Guy.
Is he also
Peter.
like? Isn't he also the
Kronk.
Kronk?
Mhm.
And that's where I knew him from. I didn't know the actor's name, but I knew that's the character he was. I was like, this is Kronk.
One.
He was giving very
Two.
like his look, the character look was very like
Fi-
almost like a
It's giving Fabio.
yeah. I don't know why I kept wanting to say Patrick Swayze, just like the of it all.
Mm-hmm.
Not the long hair, but I don't know. He was very fun. I'm glad he's nice.
No,
In
for
the
sure.
end, I guess.
He got there.
He got there. It's okay.
And then how do you feel about the new song here, Zoo?
Thought it was really good. I thought it's also pretty solid. I think, if he didn't have like Golden, it might have had a chance, but I honestly think I don't see any other song winning other than
It's gonna
Golden.
be very
I think
hard.
that's
I think if Golden doesn't
total-
win, there's gonna be an upset.
and there should be, because that's, I think, ridiculous.
But I think it has secured a nom. I think it is still a very fun song.
I think
It's very
so.
catchy.
It's very fun. Yeah, like any other year, if it didn't have like a Golden next to it, I think it might win. But no, that's okay. They already won for the first film, so
And so just I think you've basically said your answer, but you had to pick between Zootopia 1 and 2, or 2.
oh, I guess one, but I really like two. I don't know. I feel like
I
they're
would
pretty...
solidly go with 1. I think there's just I think it is just so. I think there's also something really inspiring about seeing her go and become a cop. And I think
It's
there's
true.
like a dream aspect that I really like in Zootopia, the first. That's like if you can dream it, you can do it. But I think it's very real about the stuff you kind of have to go through to get there.
When you said Zootopia first, it made me think of Sophia the First, and why does the theme song actually fit Judy really well?
I was a girl
Did
in
the village do
doing
it all
all right.
right?
Then I became an officer.
Right. It's like the Bach. It's the cop. It's crazy.
Gosh. Yeah, I don't know. There's just something so, and I think there's also a lot like with the animals going wild. I think there's just some really fun theming in the original one that I think this one doesn't have. I do agree. I think there's just like a little piece missing from the second one that I think just kind of elevates it more
Yeah.
than some of the more iconic Disney movies. Even if I can't exactly put my finger on what it is.
I will say though, this definitely beat the like sequel curse though that that a lot of sequels run into. So I mean, I'll give it credit for that. It can certainly be hard to make a sequel, and I think they did a good job with this one, even if it didn't have that wow factor I was maybe hoping for. It was there.
Dude.
Yeah. I feel like now we have a new scale where we have Moana 2, Zootopia 2, Inside Out 2. That's our scale of where does it fall. So.
Moana 2. Wait, what were the two you said? I'm sorry.
Moana 2, obviously the bottom, and then Zootopia 2, like a good solid, like this is what you should at least shoot for, and then Inside Out 2 is like exceeding expectations.
I'm looking at some of the other direct sequels. I would say theatrical sequels.
Yeah, because a lot of those DVD
that
ones,
Walt Disney has.
yeah.
There's also, I think, finding the notable ones. There's Ralph Breaks the Internet.
That one was very fun.
I think that one's a little below Zootopia 2 for me.
Yeah, me too.
It gets
but
a little
I mean, I
weird,
love that princess
but it's
scene.
very fun.
So cool. And the other doors there too are very fun.
I would say I think technically Mufasa also lands in this category. Although that's more of a prequel, so it's a bit of a gray area.
It's hard.
Other direct ones. Is that it?
I mean, Frozen 2.
Frozen 2, that's one I was thinking of. I know people are divided on Frozen 1 versus Frozen 2. Where do you stand on that?
I actually liked Frozen 2. I can see, I mean, it's just almost impossible to follow Frozen and meet everyone's expectations. I think that was just never going to happen. I thought it was cute. I liked it. I haven't seen it in a while. I would say, I actually don't know if I've seen it outside of the theater since then, because I've never been a huge Frozen person, because I think it's just like thrown in your face like enough where I'm like, I'm good, I don't need to see it again. I don't know, I remember liking it.
Yeah.
I mean, the songs I think are pretty good. I feel like it reminds me of how I feel about the Wicked 2 songs, where it's like maybe it doesn't have a Let It Go, but like they're also pretty dang good. Like I enjoy it.
I love some of those Frozen 2 songs.
Yeah, like the Lost in the Woods. I love that song. Me and my mom used to hate that song, but then we just heard it enough on the radio, and one day it just clicked, and we now love it. We're like obsessed with it now, and I'm glad we had that switch. So.
Yeah, I think it's very different from the first one. And I feel like I enjoy them both, I would almost say equally, but for like different reasons.
Yeah. I would say agree with
it
that.
reminds me of how I feel about Inside Out to Inside Out 2, where I feel like they go for very different things. So I enjoy them in, I think, different ways.
Yeah. I feel like Frozen 2 to me is solid. The Incredibles 2 is another one that has
that goes to Pixar?
Yeah.
Although I also enjoyed it. I don't think it's near as good as the original, which I think is a masterpiece. But I enjoyed Incredibles 2.
Me too. I know that one's pretty divided too, but I'll sit here 10 toes down and be like, I actually gotta.
I'm sorry. I enjoy watching the Incredibles fight other people with powers.
Yeah.
That rocks.
I thought that was cool. And Elastigirl is that girl. So thank you. We're probably missing some others, but.
Toy Story 2.
Oh god, Toy Story 4 I guess would
franchise.
technically be. I actually also liked Toy Story 2. I know that one's also divided. Because my uncle, like, he's like, she who shall not be named about Jessie. Like, he hates Jessie. And I'm like, why?
That's a weird line.
Jessie. What do you mean?
I don't know. That's a weird hatred to have, I feel.
He just finds her annoying, I guess. I'm like, but she's a baddie.
Finding Dory. We're on Pixar now, but
Ooh, that is one where I did not like Finding Dory.
I think that's very valid.
Yeah.
Monsters University.
I liked Monsters
I enjoyed
University.
Monsters.
I thought it was fun.
I
have
love
the
the
hat.
the frat race, like all of the frat
Yes.
like competitions. I loved those.
Yeah.
And I remember being like hyper fixated as a child on like the scare like simulator thing.
Yeah.
I thought that was so fun.
No, it was very fun.
Cars 2?
Um,
Not for me.
no,
You know what?
me
I'd be
either.
curious to see how I feel about it now that I've watched every Bond movie. Because it's trying to be Bond for a population that doesn't know or appreciate Bond, which is a very weird choice.
Interesting choice. Yeah, that one wasn't super for me either.
Yeah, I think those are the major sequels that we're looking at for
I still feel like we're leaving out
the Disney
one.
Empire.
'Cause
animated.
we already touched on Moana 2. Trying to think of any other princess movies, but not really.
Not in the mainstream.
No.
Yeah, really interesting.
So, yeah.
So with Zootopia 3, our end credit shows a feather.
So I guess they are gonna.
They're
maybe
gonna go
explore more,
birds.
Yeah. I think that would be fun, and it gives an opportunity to kind of go hand in hand with something that I saw on the internet. Got to give credit to them. Don't know who they are, but it's not my idea. But I like it. They said, Zootopia 1 kind of explored in the city, and then Zootopia 2 kind of explored like maybe like underground basically, or like we're just right outside the city, and then the third one could maybe explore totally outside the city, which I think if you have birds, I mean, yeah, that totally leaves it open for that because they could be anywhere. I'll be interested to see if it's.
I'm gonna go on the record right now. Date this. I think the bird character that's gonna fill like Larry's spot is going to be voiced by Maya Hawke, and their last name is going to be Hawke.
Wait.
I'm putting that right now, especially after Inside Out 2.
Honestly, get Ethan Hawke too. Like, go ahead. They're both actors. They can do it.
Yeah, the Hawks.
That could be fun. Yeah, after Inside Out too, that could be very possible. Yeah, even if they're just cameos, I think that would be
But I don't
fun just
know.
for their name. But
Like,
they could easily not be cameos too.
I remember people very legitimately talking about whether or not you can nominate a voice performance for best like actress with Maya Hawke's performances.
Yeah.
Anxiety. So honestly, I think it's a missed opportunity to not continue that here, where that would work
agree.
also very well. What
Yeah.
great branding and a rising star. So I'm calling it. I'm putting it on the books.
Do it right now. Yeah, I'd be very excited to see what they do with that.
Any other kind of animals you want to see? Obviously, it's bird themed.
Oh,
here.
I need to see a peacock at some point. Need to.
Oh,
I need to see.
I want a flamboyant peacock.
I need to see them being a menace, because especially like the males, they're like, dude, get off of her. They're crazy. I want to see a flamingo. I think that could be fun. Maybe like they could make a lot of bird jokes.
Oh my gosh. A murder of crows. I feel like there's a lot of jokes to be made there.
I'm saying
Oh,
they
and Audrey
have
Plaza could be a
of...
raven. Oh my gosh.
I also think, gosh, I don't remember her name. I shouldn't even make this point if I can't remember her name, but I picture her so clearly. No, I don't got it. But I want somebody with, like, almost like an Azula voice, like sends chills up your spine. If they end up going with like a bad guy for a bird, because they could have a bunch of birds.
I feel like Viola Davis does some really great voice work. I think also oh my gosh, Angela Bassett I think could play like the sultry kind of villainous voice, especially for a bird. I think that could work really well.
Yeah. No, that's what I want. I want like that, like, ooh, like I love the spooky voice right now. Yeah.
I don't think if there's any other cool birds. Ooh, I want to see a hummingbird. Speaking of, oh my gosh, can't believe I
Hummingbird.
blanked on this. I am pissed with Zootopia 2 that we did not get any of the little chameleon Men in Black guys from the first poster. I spotted them and I loved them so much, and they're not in this movie. What the hell, Disney? I wanted to be obsessed with them. I still
want
am obsessed with them.
Part of my money back.
And they weren't in your movie. What the hey? They better be in
The Hey
Zootopia
Dude.
3. I'm pissed.
Why would David Cornswet play really fun? I feel like he would be really fun as a voice actor, actually.
I feel so too.
What the hey, dude? If he was channeling that energy into a voice, yeah, that would be really fun. Yeah. Also, I feel like Simone Ashley, the girl who played Kate Sharma in Bridgerton season 2, could be really fun. She has a very fun voice. I love her voice. Yeah, I don't know. You could do a ton of people.
I feel like if with
You could
3,
do, like-
I feel like we're getting an airship. I feel like they could do some really fun scenes like on the top of buildings, which I think could look really great. I think they have really fun cloud effects over at Disney.
That could also be really fun because Judy is a bunny, and bunnies are like very much like
They're on the ground. They
on the
burrow.
ground,
They're
like
out
that
of your
could
element.
that could explore some really fun stuff with her actually. Also, if you want like a funny bird, you could do like Danny DeVito or somebody with like a really like
Oh my god, they're gonna make a mockingbird joke. It just keeps mocking.
Get Jennifer Lawrence. We have the she's Mockingjay.
Mockingjay.
It's okay.
God, what a
do
loser.
that one. You could do that though. That could be fun.
There's some fun stuff to do there. I'm very
Yeah.
excited to see this continue. Where do you think?
Oh my God, you could get Taylor Swift. That's a little bit of a stretch.
That was
but it's
really
okay.
good.
No, anyways, moving on.
What do you think they could do after birds? Do you think they go to? I mean, if they go to fish, it's gonna get really uncomfortable really fast.
Really interesting. Fish would be kind of hard. I don't even know how you would do that. You'd have to get somebody like that could be in both, or I don't know. That would be hard.
Do you think maybe it just is done after 3? Do you think it can be done after 3? This makes so much money.
No, I would love for it to keep going as long as they keep making good films.
Maybe they go
and
maybe
have good ideas
for something like an endangered species. Maybe.
Well, we haven't done like insects yet. That's like I feel like
that's in the same category as fish, where I think the main problem is they're just kind of regularly regarded as food for a lot of the people here.
Yeah. I did also say earlier we could do like more of like the Arctic. That could be fun. Have some fun outfits.
Oh my god, do you think we could find dinosaurs?
No,
Go Ice Age with it?
But I think it'd be funny if they acknowledged the dinosaurs at some point. So.
Or they can do
Oh.
Fast and Furious and go to space.
I wonder. Oh my god, that's crazy. I wonder, like in the human world we have pets. I wonder if in the animal world, if somehow they have pets.
That's a terrifying
could that
thought.
ever be a thing? I don't know.
It's giving Mickey's best friend being a dog and also having a dog.
Yeah. Well, but like you're talking about Goofy?
Yes.
Well, he's like half dog, half cow. Like he's like his own thing.
Interesting.
Yeah, he's not quite either. Common misconception. Which is weird because he looks like a dog. But anyways, I don't know. That didn't come technically from my mouth. That's like somebody told me that. So I don't even know. I don't know, guys.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So now I want to kind of turn over to 2025, looking at what animated movies look like this year.
I feel like overall we've had a pretty good year. I will say when making this list, I was a little surprised of how small it was.
I think that too. I feel like animation, I think looking at last year, I think
It's my stomach.
maybe
Starving.
last year I think the animated movies just kind of hit bigger, even if there weren't as many as I think you've seen in the 2010s. I think animation has come to a point. I think it's just become so difficult to make it out fast and to the quality that general audiences are able to take in.
Yeah.
So I think that's why we're seeing less. I will say this year specifically, it's a little bit of a bummer that they aren't blowing up as much. And I think that that's possibly due to marketing. I think also animation is expanding into like adult shows in a really cool way. So I think there's also something to be said about attention being split.
Yeah,
between
there's some good animated shows that have come out this
some
year.
great
so,
animated shows.
yeah.
So I think it's maybe splitting the conversation a bit, which is why some of these bigger movies that we're going to talk about didn't buzz as much as some other movies. I think there's a lot to that conversation on why they aren't being talked about as much.
Yeah. And I know at least for me, I've missed a couple that I need to watch. So that would add a few to my list, but alas.
So I have seen 12 this year so far.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, even you watch a ton of movies, and that's only 12, but...
I will
What
say
can you
the
do?
only two major ones that I probably won't watch anytime soon are the Chainsaw Man movie, because that's based off a show, and then the Demon Hunter movie, which is also Demon Slayer movie, which is also based off
Yeah,
a show.
that's hard because they're also based
At
off
some point, I want to watch Demon Slayer because people talk so well about that show.
Yeah.
And I think Chainsaw Man is also a relatively short watch. I think it's only like a 2-season show.
Okay.
So maybe someday I'll catch up on them.
Perhaps.
But that's definitely not happening anytime this year.
Yeah, because both of those movies did make a good amount of
Great
noise.
money.
So, yeah.
So,
Anyways.
keep that in mind. And if you watch those movies, I hope you enjoyed them. People really loved them.
I think so, yeah.
So I've seen 12. You've seen 9. So
Yes.
I'm gonna give my bottom 3. So my bottom 3 animated movies of the year are at 12. I have Smurfs. Whew. We talked a little bit about Smurfs. I think we did a split episode on that.
I think this and I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yes.
What a weekend.
That was brutal. Truly
Yeah.
just like a non-movie. I think it just assumes the worst out of children. It's like possibly a step
bad.
up from Cocomelon, but like made by the same people. It's just like kids just want to watch things move on a screen, and we have Rihanna. What more could they possibly need? I'm just like, don't.
Rihanna, you've been in a really good animated film, and it's not this one. So sorry for you. That's why I'm like, it's hard for me to even, hate on her, because I feel like she was just miscast, because she's been really good in a film. So it's like, I can't even say it's you.
At 11, I have Netflix's The Twits. Horrible movie. Another case of someone just thinking it's really easy to make media for kids. And it isn't, clearly. Because you have such a bad movie that just is... it just talks down to kids, and I can't stand that.
That's a shame.
And then at number 10, decent jump. These last two are in my bottom 10 of the year. But I have Dogman, which I liked, I would say, a little bit more than I was expecting to. And I think the animation's fun. I think Pete Davidson as the antagonist is very fun. Voice work. And that's it. Everything else is fine to I didn't need to watch this.
Yeah. That's fair. My bottom is also Smurfs. My number 9.
Yeah, any other comments on Smurfs I missed?
No. It was just bad. So, I regret putting this on my list. But I'm also really happy that this didn't do well on my draft, or just in general, because it didn't deserve to do well. So, it's hard to be too mad when you want a movie to lose, and it does. You're like, well, I'm getting what I want.
My number 9, I have Aztec Batman Clash of Empires. This was fun. I watched, there was a Batman Ninja movie where just Batman and a bunch of his villains and characters get transported to very ancient Japan, and they talk about the different the villains all have their dynasties that they're forming, and then there's still vigilantes trying to fight those. I love the idea, hated the execution.
Yeah.
Here, I think it does a bit of a better job. It's a little rough around the edges on how it kind of gets there, and I think some characters are just kind of annoying. But ultimately, Batman in the style of the Aztecs is sick as hell. And some of their adaptations are very interesting. Poison Ivy's this forest goddess. You have Catwoman who's disguised as like a cat goddess. The costume designs are all fun. I think Cortez becomes Two-Face. He gets like half scarred on his face, and they do some very fun stuff.
Yeah.
The guy who ends up being Joker is like betrayed by like an ancient god, and like goes crazy because he was like convinced to like sacrifice his family or whatever.
Dang.
It's intense. But there's some fun stuff here for sure.
Okay. Very fun. My number 8 is also Dogman. I would also say similar to yours, fair jump here. Nothing crazy, but there is a gap, I like to say. And then there's going to be an even bigger gap between that and my next one.
Yeah. At number 8, I have Looney Tunes: The Day the Earth Blew Up. I think it is so great that this movie got a chance to be released.
Yeah.
I think it's such a shame that it had to fight for its ability to be seen as art.
Yeah.
I think that is so unfair to everyone involved, and also to this movie. Like, if this movie had come out just as a general movie, and I didn't have to, there wasn't like a hype behind like finally this gets to be released. I think that sets it a little to a bad place for me because the expectations are a little higher. It had to be fought so hard to be released. And I think it's still really solid. It's giving just kind of like a really long Looney Tunes episode to me. I don't think it's super cinematic, but I think it's really funny. It's very Looney Tunes to its core.
Yeah.
I think this would have been a very fun surprise film if it didn't have to fight so hard for its existence.
I agree.
But end of the day, go this film. It got to be released, and Cole loves this film. This is in his top 10 for the year so far.
Perfect.
And I love
That's
that
awesome.
for him.
Yeah. My next one is also Looney Tunes. So we got the same order of things pretty much from, the ones that we've both seen. So, yeah, I agree with every point. I'm just glad this movie was released. I thought it was a fun time. And I hope more and more of them are released. It seems like they will be. The same company
Wile E. Coyote and Acme is finally getting released in 2026.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. So,
Yeah.
there we go.
And I will say my expectations are still a little higher. I will say this puts them down a little bit with this last one. So I'm getting ready for it to just like be a really solid and fun time.
Yeah.
Not necessarily like a big breakthrough or anything like that. Which I don't know.
That's fair.
My number 7, and I'm curious if this is going to be where we start separating. I have The Bad Guys 2.
Ooh.
There's a big jump, a solid jump between Looney Tunes and here. This one I thought was still really great. Ultimately, I think it is just a scooch better than the original. It's not perfect for me. I can't even necessarily say why. But I feel like it's missing a little bit of an emotional connection, I think, that I feel for some of the higher ones up here. But some amazing and very memorable scenes from here. Like there's the fight in the ring that I remember very much. Like the golden space scene is gorgeous. The classic espresso.
That's so funny.
And it's very like Now You See Me with the heist scenes here.
Yeah.
I think the heist scenes here are, I would say, like more fun than in the first one.
Very fun way to allow them to continue doing heists even after they've turned over a leaf or whatever you call whatever that phrase is.
I agree.
Yeah. So, anyways, we do have a different one. My next one is Elio, although there's like a similar thing, a good gap between. I really liked Elio. I'm also glad it got released. I think it was underappreciated, undermarketed. I think it was a little, I don't know. It's frustrating to me to see so many people complain that we don't get original ideas. And then you see the gaps between like this and Lilo and Stitch and Zootopia 2. Now, obviously, Lilo and Stitch was not good versus Zootopia 2 is good. But it's like, I'm not expecting original films to always be like a Zootopia or a Frozen. But I do expect them to get at least a little more love and attention than they often do. I will say reception wise, this got a lot of love, as it should. I just wish it got a little more love box office wise.
But the people who saw it really loved it.
Yeah, and I think there's something to be said there. I'm like, well, we actually saw it and it was actually good. So, anyways, yeah.
At number 6, I have Netflix's In Your Dreams. This one was a surprise to me. I expected it to be fine. It has Sandman in it, and it's a pretty unique way of looking at him, which I think is very fun. I connected to this one a lot more than I thought I would. The parents in here are voiced by Simu Liu and Chloe Bennett.
Ooh.
So
Pigs. I love both of them.
some fun stuff. They also do fun stuff with the 2 Sandman songs. The There's No Sandman, and then the Metallica song Enter the Sandman.
Yeah.
So very fun. It explores like dreams, lucid dreaming. They do such fun stuff with it, and specifically into like nightmares. They just do. It's a really fun time, and I will say, it's gonna be like, I think there's potential for it to be like a bottom of the category contender in animation.
Yeah.
Like I can very easily see this like being like the one where it's like, oh, I haven't heard of this, but it's in here.
Yeah.
So
Fair.
yeah.
All right. That is one of the ones I have on my list to watch. Hopefully sooner rather than later. Do want to get to that before the Oscars, whether or not it's nominated or on a short list or whatever. I just want to watch it. It's on my radar. My number 5 is The Bad Guys 2. So just, like, it was there. It was close to yours.
Yeah.
I also thought this was solid since, we're talking about some sequels. I think this is a good one to shout out. I feel like I maybe connected to this a little bit more. Ooh, also when talking about sequels, we have to shout out Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Made me think of that. What a great sequel.
Masterpiece.
I will say I continue to love the exploration of, or like what themes they're exploring here with the, the first film obviously becoming good despite society thinking you're bad, and now it's like I am good but society still thinks I'm bad or still treats me like I'm bad, and now I'm so limited, and almost like when people go to prison for things and then discussing that conversation of, does society even let you have a second chance? I thought that was very fascinating and surprising that it was talked about in an animated film. So more geared towards kids. Again, I think this is still family friendly and family can enjoy this, but yeah, I was like, well, that gagged me a little bit. I love it. So yeah.
At number 5, I have Elio. I adore this film. I think the animation of like the aliens is so fun. I think Elio is such a relatable kid, and I absolutely love Glorden.
Yes.
Like, Your
Just
Honor.
get in my mouth. We still quote that.
I love Glorden.
We still quote that.
Like,
Liability, disappointment,
like truly,
aggravation.
probably in my like top 5 Pixar characters.
He's so
Like,
awesome.
he's an awesome character.
I agree.
Ugh.
Yeah.
And then in this movie specifically, it had so many like emotional moments that I connected to really well.
Yeah.
Like even right off the bat, like there's the scene of him like first falling in love with space, and I think it's like both heartbreaking and then immediately turns to like inspirational. I think it's very relatable to how anyone gets like super into whatever it becomes their thing. Like in our case, movies.
Yeah.
Like I think it's super relatable to get lost in that, and the idea of trying to look for connection, even if you are kind of overlooking some options that are closer to you. I think the messaging is so sweet and endearing, and I think the animation is just so fun. It is a funny film. It is just so it makes me feel
It's a
so
great
much.
film. Yeah, I think there's a reason that most people when they watch it say that it's good. I just wish more people watched it. So, also look how adorable my cat is right now. He's sleeping and his head is like upside down. He's like curled in. So cute. Anyways, my number 4, I would say there's also a good gap between these, although I've liked the last few films I've had on my list. This is like now they're like, oh wait, I wrote down the wrong one.
You goofball.
Gosh dang it.
What are we doing here?
Okay, I had wrote down. No, I'm not gonna say it because then it spoils my next one. Okay, I wrote down Zootopia too.
Okay.
So maybe not quite as crazy of a gap. But obviously we already talked about what we like and dislike about this film. I think it's solid, and I'm excited for more. So,
yeah. My number 4 is also Zootopia 2.
Yeah.
I will say I go back and forth on switching it in Elio because I just felt so many emotions in Elio. But I think Zootopia is kind of cleaner throughout.
I think so. Yeah.
But I could easily see myself switching this at some point. But Zootopia 2, so fun. It's
Very
a classic.
fun. And I'm so excited that it's doing really well. So yeah, and that's one of the things that gives me comfort is at least as of now they're still making original films, so and not just doing the big heavy hitters.
Yeah.
So yeah, films like these go to support films like Elio
For sure.
So yeah. Then I put Predator Killer of Killers. This is the one I accidentally wrote down. I was like, wait. So yeah, this is like a near perfect film for me. Honestly, I think you'll understand when I say my next two, but it's honestly like, how is it this low, even though it's not low?
Mm-hmm.
This is so good. I love this film. This increased my excitement for Predator Badlands an insane amount. Yeah, so fun. I hope they make more sequels in animated form and live action form.
Sure.
Anyways.
My number 3 is also Predator Killer of Killers. This was the second Predator movie I watched.
That's
and-
crazy.
and
Right,
like,
that is, yeah.
having watched this and then going into all of the other films, like, I think that's truly just like, it's like almost like a
almost
battery of
unfortunate.
excitement. I disagree. I
okay.
think it's like a battery of excitement to watch and like
Motivate.
see these predators because it adds so much lore to it that
Okay.
wasn't planned to be there in the original.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I watched the second one and I'm like, oh my gosh, so if he kills this predator, I know that there's potential to see him again.
Yeah.
And like there's so much more lore to it. You know more about like where they come from.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so fascinating. Like I'm honestly very thankful to have watched this when I did.
Okay.
Because
Awesome.
it made me so excited to go into this franchise again. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to say again because I had only watched the first one
Mm-hmm.
and thought it was fine,
Mm-hmm.
and I haven't rewatched it since watching this one.
Okay.
So I might even enjoy it way more than I do. So,
Yeah.
but this is the kind of movie every franchise wants to have because it is just such a bolt of lightning.
I agree. I think it's very fun. So now I think you'll understand why it was number 3, because my top 2 are like neck and neck. Like I could honestly easily switch on any given day. And I just watched one of these today, Neja 2 and K-pop Demon Hunters, of course.
Same here. Neja 2, K-pop
Same
Demon
here.
Hunters.
So I feel like it's just the music that gives K-pop Demon Hunters just a little extra kick, and that's why I'm seriously wondering which one's honestly gonna win animated feature, because it's hard for me to say that either one has made more noise. Obviously, K-pop Demon Hunters way more on social media, but Neja 2 way more in the box office, although that's because K-pop Demon Hunters didn't really get a good theatrical release. But yeah, both of them clearly have a ton of interest, ton of love, and I think deservedly so. I couldn't be mad at either one of these films winning over the other.
Because question with Neja 2, because we actually haven't talked about it since you've seen it.
Because I just saw it this morning.
But Neja 2, Neja the first, I think is a great animated movie.
It
But
is.
doesn't the second one take it to like another
So
level?
good.
Gosh.
I agree.
And then like the dragon designs, and then
that's
when they
another
become,
sequel we can talk about.
and then when they become like persons,
yeah,
like oh my gosh, the design, the beauty, it's so cinematic.
yeah,
They have
so sad too. Like, oh, I don't want to talk about it because I don't want to spoil it. But you know what scene I'm talking about. I'm like, I'm gutted. There's actually there's a few, but gutted.
no, but there's one big standout there for sure.
Yeah. Oh, it reminds me honestly of. I wasn't this film, but I guess this is another one that just popped into my head. I can't think of the other one I was originally thinking of. But there's one scene that reminds me of a scene in Mulan, when there's like that destroyed city, and it's just like this heavy silence that you just sit in as a viewer. And I think both movies do a good job at creating that in their films as well. There's another one I was thinking of, and I can't think of what it is, but Mulan's a really good comparison as well, I think. So, yeah.
No, for
so
sure.
Good. I feel like in a perfect world, Neja 2 would win animated feature. K-pop Demon Hunters can get original song. And then international feature, since Neja 2 can be nominated and probably will be nominated in that category as well, I think maybe that's where sentimental value can get its credit. Since I think Best Picture is probably still going to be Sinners or One Battle After Another. I don't know. We'll see. Because Anora, I think, was, maybe a little surprising last year. So, we shall see. But I just want both of these films to get recognition in some capacity.
Sure.
So, wherever they can do that.
Oh, they're so good. I will say, I think K-pop Demon Hunters is like, I think a clear notch above. But
it's hard because I think the songs
truly
take it to another level.
And I think it's like rare to have songs like just be so like they're basically perfect songs, and then on top of that they add so much depth to the movie itself, which I think is not only rare but it just so hard to like nail. Yeah. And this movie does it with every single song.
It reminds me of like Encanto. I feel like that did something similar. Maybe it didn't make... that made a lot of noise too, especially when it went on streaming.
When it went on streaming, it's another case of, people saying they want original stuff and then, not until it's, shoved into their face, like, are they able to, like, acknowledge it.
But yeah, I think that's another really good example that both films are already good, and then the songs are amazing, but they also take the film and the story they're telling to another level. Yeah.
Because you look at, say, I don't know, Joker 2, where every time you go into a song, it not only grinds the story to a complete halt, but they're just not enjoyable to sit in either.
No. And the story's, like, it's complete opposite. Like, the story's already not that interesting, but...
So, yeah. Super, super love. Going back to our outline. So
yeah, overall, pretty solid
current
year.
Animated awards. So we talked a little bit about that. If you had to put any of yours up for nomination.
Oh, I would put Neja 2 in international feature and animated. K-pop Demon Hunters, animated, and original song. And then... Oh, I also put both in Best Picture for right now.
Neja 2, I think, just recently edged out of my Best Picture.
I hope at least one of them gets in, because I think we've had too many good animated films this year for them to get shut out of Best Picture again, but it would not, unfortunately, surprise me if both got shut out. I think it'd be ridiculous and there would be upset, but animation is just so often ignored in that category, unfortunately. So...
Yeah. I do continue to have a bit of faith that K-pop Demon Hunters can cut through it. It's just so...
It's making too much noise
it's causing too many waves, just even within, like, that industry.
I'm only a little bit afraid because I feel like when I first watched it and had that experience, it was, like, early in summer, and I spent, like, the whole summer where I feel like everybody was appreciating it, and then I feel like I started to hear... and just more and more and more up until now that it's like so big with the kids, and that phrase scares me a little bit, because not that that's a bad thing, but even just like at the Macy's Day Parade, they had their float, and I think there were some commenters talking about like the kids love it, every kid knows the the lyrics of the song, and that scares me a little bit. I think that could be used as a scapegoat to be like, just leave it in animated. It doesn't need to be in Best Picture. That's what worries me a little bit. But
No, that's very
anyways.
fair. I would say, I think if Predator Killer of Killers doesn't get nominated for Best Animated Feature, I think that's a huge snub.
I agree. Right now I have it. Let me see what I have it as. Original song for the animated stuff, I put also Zoo from Zootopia.
Yes.
I don't know if that will continue because I don't currently. I know Avatar Fire and Ash is going to have an original song by Miley Cyrus, and I heard a clip and it sounds pretty dang good. So I don't have that in there yet because I haven't been adding things that I haven't watched yet other than international feature. Just because I have no idea when I'm going to get to watch some of those films. And then animated feature, I currently have Zootopia 2, Predator Killer of Killers, The Bad Guys 2, Neja 2, and K-Pop Demon Hunters. The Bad Guys, I think, is like the only one that I would be willing to switch something out with.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, I don't know. With what? I don't know.
Yeah. I think I'm going to be surprised if Elio doesn't make it on there.
Yeah, it would
I
be
think
nice
I would
if it
even...
did. Especially since reception-wise, it got credit.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'd be good with that.
I would say Zootopia, because there's not any big major animated features coming out, at least in the U.S. for the rest of the year.
I mean, not that's going to be nominated in that category.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of SpongeBob, but they're not
yeah.
going to, nominate that. So,
but I do wonder if there's some smaller ones that just haven't made the rounds yet that are still out there.
yeah, like I know I've seen Noise on Stitch Heads, which we haven't seen that. And then maybe In Your Dreams, I don't know. I've seen a little bit of noise about that, so we'll see.
Yeah.
I just don't know.
But I'm pushing for, if I had to pick a winner, in my heart of hearts, it goes to K-Pop Demon Hunters.
Yeah.
Neja 2 needs to be nominated for that and for international.
Yeah.
I
I hope it wins something. I don't know. It'd be nice if it did.
And then I'm rooting for Predator. I'm gonna say need Predator Killer of Killers to be nominated, and I really hope Elio makes it.
Mm-hmm.
If Zootopia 2 didn't make the cut for whatever reason, that's the only one
You
that
okay
I
with
would be
that?
willing to
Okay.
spare.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. Okay.
But I don't think that's gonna happen. I think
I think
it's
something
very
from
solid.
Disney will be acknowledged. I would be okay if we had to do Elio over Zootopia 2, just because I don't think either one has a chance at all of winning.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Nominations, I guess. At the end of the day, it doesn't super matter, but...
Yeah. I love award
Nice.
season. I can't wait for that to get started.
Yes.
So animation in 2026. So right now, some of the bigger ones that we have coming up. We have Toy Story
lot.
5. We did just see that teaser in
mean-
front of Zootopia 2.
They have me hesitant after Toy Story 4. I'm one of those. I know that's a little bit divided. I'm one of those that was not a huge fan of Toy Story 4.
I will say Toy Story 4
I don't think it was
confirmed
like
that I will always enjoy being in the world of Toy
Yes,
Story, because I
yeah.
think there's just always such fun stuff of what can come to life. What are they
Mm-hmm.
doing when we're not seeing them? Like the antique store,
Yeah.
the playground, some fun stuff there. I think it also showed that like maybe we've run out of room with this gang as a franchise.
It's hard, yeah.
Which is
I don't know. This has the chance, with the concept of this new film, with the tablet being a bad guy, it has a chance of bringing the gang and their original fun dynamic back. Because they have a common enemy. So, I don't know. We'll see.
very curious. And then Woody's just back. And it's like, what? What was the point of
ending
the last one?
No, exactly. I mean, but because I didn't super care for the last one, I don't really care. But then it just raises the question, like, why did nobody question this beforehand?
So bizarre.
Anyways, I'm okay ignoring the fourth one if I have to, because the third one is like, I've like never cried harder in my life. So yeah.
Also up in the running, another big one is Super Mario Galaxy.
That
which
one
I'm
looks so
very excited
good.
about.
Yeah.
Rosalina, I'm ready for you to blow up. Rosalina is, I think, going to be a huge costume next year for Halloween, and
I think
I'm
so.
living for that representation for her.
Yeah, very excited. I'm also personally, despite all the controversy around it, I don't care. I love Brie Larson, and I love that she's cast as Rosalina. Even more so when finding out people defending her that she's like a huge Nintendo fan. That's so fun.
Oh, and then we also see Bowser
Love
Jr.
that.
and I love Bowser Jr.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Milky coming to take my father back.
We also have Wile E. Coyote versus Acme.
Mm-hmm.
I'm expecting that to be fun.
I'm down. When does Coco 2 come out? I thought that might be 2027.
I haven't even heard
Maybe
that
even
one, but I'm gonna
longer.
guess not for a second.
I know that's confirmed at least.
The Legend of Aang is coming out next year,
Right.
which I think I'm very interested to see how that goes. I think if that does
Is that
well,
with the adult gang?
I believe so. Yes.
Then I'm down. I'm excited.
I'm absolutely down for that. I'm very
So.
curious to see how it goes over.
You
It'll be a
know-
real test to this franchise to see if it can pull an in-person audience to the theater.
Yeah.
If it can, I think that opens up this franchise in a huge way.
Mm-hmm. I'm also interested because that's probably the year where we're getting the season 2 of the live action show. I'm a little surprised we're not getting it this year because I think they're like done with season 3. I'm pretty sure they're like filming because like the guy who plays Ozai was talking about how it was filming that scene, like the fight scene. And I'm like, you already filmed the fight scene? So, I mean, I know they go out of order, so I don't know if that means they're done with season 3, but they're working on it at least. So, I don't know.
We
Interesting.
also have Hoppers from Pixar.
I'm excited for that, but I am preparing myself for it to be treated like another Elio.
Mm-hmm.
Because people are already like...
Because I think for the first time we saw the full trailer was in front of Zootopia 2,
Mm-hmm.
and I was already pretty excited for it, but I think that movie looks really fun. It feels
Yeah.
a little bit like it's kind of in the Wild Robot's shadow. I feel like, unfortunately, there's going to be a lot of comparisons to that.
Mm-hmm. Which is hard because Wild Robot is so
It's
good.
really good. But I hope they can find some decent ways to kind of separate themselves.
And the animation looks different, so all those people complaining, then put your money where your mouth is. Show up.
We also have Minions 3.
Oh, didn't know that was coming out.
See
Okay,
about
then.
that.
Yeah.
I will say I really enjoyed the last Minions movie.
Yeah. They've had some really, really fun ones, so, I'm not totally, like, against it or anything.
How do you feel about The Cat in the Hat?
I mean...
I'm kind of excited for
I'm
it.
seated. Like, I'm not excited. I think I am excited.
I mean, I think it would be really fun to see the resurgence of Cat in the Hat, and then
There's so many stories you can do with that, too. Like, so many sequels.
I
So,
love the bit with the different things, and 2 is just missing.
Yeah.
And then I also love Bill Hader as the voice. I think he.
Yeah. The
is a
scene where
really
he's
great
like, he's like shouting out, like, I don't remember.
Bug in a mug.
Yeah.
Yak with a pack.
Carl, or that's not the name, but what is
Ron.
Ron. I think that's hilarious. Yeah.
No, I also really love the gag where he's like, "It was 5," and then he leans back down, and then the hat walks away, but the arms are still there on the thing. I don't know. It's
was
just
a
like a
pretty
physical.
good
It's like
trailer.
it's giving like physical comedy in an animation, and I love that.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm just interested on how 2026 is going to go because it seems to be the year for like sequels, like so many, or I don't know necessarily sequels, but blockbusters at least. So I'm interested to see how that goes because I do think it could hit a point where people start to get sick of that. And I wonder if that happens, what point will that be and how will that affect the later half of the year?
I don't know. I think I kind of disagree on that
Or
point.
would it? Well, I'm not saying that will happen, but I'm wondering because it is a lot.
I think
So,
I remember there was a huge conversation in 2024 about them thinking that year they were seeing like fallback from all of the strikes that had happened, and they thought, man, we're already seeing all of the consequences from those strikes that happened this year. And I think 2025 this year is actually where we're seeing the creative pause that studios had to be put on with all of those strikes, because I think there's actually a huge decrease in the big, exciting movies that people are, like, willing to go to the theaters to go see and talk about regularly.
Yeah.
And it feels like 2026, like, kind of just looking at that slate in general, feels kind of a lot more similar to the slate you were seeing in, like, the late 2010s.
Yeah.
So, and I'm very excited to hopefully get back to that.
Yeah.
Frank,
it's going to be great for the box office. That's for sure. You're going to have, like, that's
and a healthy,
really good
and a
for
healthy
them.
box office is healthy movie making.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
I
yeah, I'm not
really
mad at
hope we
it.
get to see more involvement in the theater.
Yeah.
The more people go to theaters, the more they might be to go again.
Well, and I think ideally it would be really fun to see a lot of really well-made blockbusters as well, because I think that's ultimately the goal.
For sure.
So, yeah. I'm excited.
Other quick ones I want to just mention is Goat. I'm interested to see.
I feel like I remember seeing something about that.
Goat playing basketball.
Yes. Cool.
Yeah, well, sure. Why not?
Whatever.
Angry Birds 3. Interesting return.
I haven't seen either of the first ones because I've never huge into Angry Birds.
You're not. Oh my god, you're not an Angry Birds stan?
I mean, I
on
have
you.
played the games before.
You're a fake fan. And then Disney's Hexed is also slated, although we don't know
Yes,
anything
I'm
about that yet.
excited for that though. The little tiny bits I've heard about it though, I'm excited.
No.
It almost seems very magic heavy, so it's almost reminding me of Wish, but maybe instead they're actually like letting it be a film on its own and not just a reference. Literal Peter Pan is showing up. I'm hoping, they let it stand on its own. Because I think that's what was so interesting about Wish is it's so close to being good if it just was allowed to be its own film.
I will say, I think Hexed comes at a very interesting spot. I don't know if it is about witches, but witches are definitely having a moment that could definitely be seized upon if they do it the right way.
Especially, that's towards the end of the year?
I don't know if there's a release date. Let me see. Yeah, in November.
Yeah, which could be interesting.
Literally like a year from today.
Yeah. I don't know. We shall see. Especially with all the talk about surrounding Doomsday wanting Wanda there. I don't know. They have a good opportunity to kind of hype up both using the power and love of witches.
Mm-hmm.
So, there you go.
So, next up, going back to Zootopia 2, I wanted to talk reception.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I want to compare it to the first one. So, let me pull up Zootopia the first.
Yeah. Every time we say that, it makes me think of Sophia the First.
So, Rotten Tomatoes, the original critic score was 98. What do you think the critic score is for Zootopia 2?
I have seen it's gone slightly down from I think its original like 95 or 96. I think now it's like 92 or 93.
It is at a 91.
Okay. Yeah.
But
it's still pretty good.
The critic score for the original was a 92. What do you think the audience score is for 2?
96.
Close. It is 95.
Okay. That's still really good. Yeah.
And then the first one's IMDb score was an 8 out of 10.
What? See, this is why IMDb's stupid. Anyways, I guess maybe they're more positive on this one. 8.5?
It is a 7.8.
See, I'm trying to get Luke to switch out IMDb for Letterboxd in our next box office draft because IMDb just be pissing me off.
We can look at Letterboxd as well.
Just be pissing me
Hold,
off.
please.
I want to get rid of it.
Zootopia.
There's no rhyme or reason.
The original one has a 3.7 out of 5. What do you think the second one is out of 5 stars?
I feel like it's similar, like maybe 3.8, 3.6.
It is a 3.9.
Ooh, okay.
That's interesting.
Fair.
Very, very interesting.
And the cinema scores are the same.
Yes.
It's without an A, I believe.
Oh, I don't actually think I caught that. Good for Zootopia.
Mm-hmm.
Going on to box office. It is currently domestically at 59 million, internationally 135. So we've already crossed the century mark before the opening weekend. To be fair, there's a lot
crazy.
more days there.
Yeah.
But this is still incredible.
Yeah.
So the current worldwide total is at $194 million.
And have you refreshed? In case I didn't already refresh today.
Let me look. That is the most recent number.
Okay.
So, the question being, where do you think it will end?
Oh gosh. Okay, so I feel like one of the things we talked about was obviously it is going to have a huge opening weekend. You know, everyone's predicting like 500 plus million. I'm seeing a little more towards 520 now, maybe a little higher than expected. Obviously that's already really good. Of course, this weekend has been super long and it's, you know, a lot of people were off this week. But we were wondering if it was poorly received, would that mean it's more front loaded and wouldn't, and obviously probably still cross the billion, but would it quite do like crazy numbers? And since it's received really well, I think we don't have to worry about that anymore.
I don't think so either.
Now I'm kind of wondering, is it going to pass the 2 billion mark? I don't think so, but I think I wouldn't be surprised if it was somewhere around like 1.5 billion.
Okay.
I think maybe. Because what did the first film end up making?
Let me take a look. It's in my book.
I know it was over 1 billion, but I don't.
Zootopia. Go away, Pixar.
Yeah, because I think regardless, I think it's gonna make more than the first film.
Zootopia is the 4th highest grossing Walt Disney animated movie, and it made $1,025,000,000.
Yeah, so just barely over 1 billion. So I think this one will honestly probably pretty easily make more than that.
Seeing that number, I think it will I think it'll match that, and I think it won't be that close. I think it's gonna noticeably track over that.
I think so. I don't know. I might be overshooting with 1.5 billion. But I don't know. We have Five Nights at Freddy's, which coming up, which is a wildly different film.
I think that is
different
going to be,
audience.
I think that's going to be very front loaded, but I also don't think it's going to be nearly as high as the original.
Yeah. And then the following week, I had something on my list for that was releasing, but then for some reason it wasn't coming to where we were. And then obviously Avatar. So it's got a while before Avatar. Plus, you know, Disney's gonna be happy. Mm-hmm. They're competing with themselves. But just talking specifically about this film,
for Zootopia 2, I'm gonna lock in 1,200,000,000.
Okay.
I think the box office isn't going to let it get to 2 billion.
Oh no, I don't think so.
But I think even just getting it to be the, I guess, second movie of the year to cross the billion mark. Looking at you, Neja, too. Go animation.
Yeah.
I think that'll do a lot, especially for the medium and obviously for everyone involved.
Yeah.
So I think billion is pretty clear cut. If it'll at least double its box office in the long run, which I think typically is the case.
Mm-hmm. And I will say the only reason I think at some point it'll have a halt, even though it has a really good lead, is because Avatar is also not quite as family friendly, but I think a lot of families still go to see it, even if it, you know, there's obviously more like gore or whatever. And it also has a lot of international pull. So I think the audiences are
similar markets.
Right? Yeah. That's why I think once that comes out, it'll start to hold. But I think it has a really good lead. Yeah. And international does a lot when movies.
I'm very curious to see how this continues to expand.
Mm-hmm.
So you said it got an A cinema score?
Yeah.
Go ahead and add that.
Fun. Doing some draft updates.
Yes, and this is your Zootopia count isn't going to be exact because I'm not able to till I have it in front of me. I can't double check the numbers.
Mm.
But you got at least 2 points for the box office. You'd get like 1 more, I think. So go ahead and
Almost 2 more. It's just like 194. It's almost to the 200 place. No, this is like doing honestly a lot more for me than I thought it would. If I'm being honest.
Okay. So our current winter movie draft scores. So I currently have Tron Ares Eternity started coming out, so I have some points from that.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a cinema score. I didn't see it. It's definitely...
Which is ridiculous to me.
Yeah. Black Phone 2 is still out there, and
That
The Running
actually
Man is still
shocks
out
me.
there.
Yeah.
You are almost done.
I have...
You have Zootopia 2,
Marty Supreme?
Wicked for Good, Predator Badlands, Sentimental Value, The Smashing Machine, Springsteen Deliver Me From Nowhere, and Regretting You. The only one you're missing is Marty Supreme.
Yeah.
I have Avatar Fire and Ash and SpongeBob Search for SquarePants. Whew. So, let's see.
Yeah.
Eternity currently gave me 47. That is tied for your lowest, which is Regretting You, also at 47.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's going to get much higher, which is kind of ridiculous. Eternity really, like, shocked me because Sentimental Value, I was fully prepared to take that loss of the cinema score. I did not, and box office, obviously. But I picked it solely for what I was hoping the critics' reception, all that reception would do, and I do think it's super high. Eternity shocks me. That was on my list. Like, if you hadn't picked it, it was on my list to be picked. So first of all, the fact that it's not coming honestly near us is ridiculous. And then not get a cinema score.
It feels very weird that A24 used to be, like, pretty known as the company that, like, gives movies a chance. Now I feel like it's a little flipped, and it feels like they're kind of gatekeeping to major cities, which I think sucks.
Yeah, and it's like, at what point... I understand, you're fairly new, but I do feel like it needs to get to a point where it's like, okay, well, when are we going to start expanding? And maybe we are in ways I don't see, but it's frustrating to see the amount of films that have A24 attached to it that are not getting wide releases. And because, like, this,
especially
had,
when
like,
they're
good...
labeled as wide releases, it's
yeah,
like, you've got to come up with another term. If it's there's clearly something between limited and wide,
yes,
and that's where A24 is a lot of the time.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. I feel like also the marketing just said to me that it was going to get a actual wide release. Why are you
marketing it that much if it's not going to go everywhere? Like, what? It feels like you're almost wasting money on that.
Mm-hmm. I agree. It's like sentimental value makes sense because it wasn't super marketed like that. Its release is reflective of its marketing, and this Eternity is not. So I'm very disappointed in that because I was so excited to see that, and now we're gonna have to wait till it goes on digital, which sucks.
So
anyways,
in our episode about Wicked for Good, we didn't tally those up. Currently, it is giving you 69 points, tied with Predator Badlands, also giving you 69 points.
Yup.
Currently, Zootopia is the highest. With that, currently you are at 73.
I'm so excited, and it's just gonna go up. Obviously, Wicked for Good will too a little bit, but I think Zootopia too will.
Sentimental Value also updated. That is currently at 54.
Yeah. See, that's a solid score without having any box office or cinema score points. That's what I was hoping.
Our totals
Thank
currently, out of my 1, 2, 3, 4 movies, I'm at 215.
Mm-hmm.
Out of your, what is that, 7 movies? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You are at 420.
I mean, I have a lot more films, and again, your heavy hitter is Avatar. So.
But I would say for you are notably over the halfway point. Because half of 700 would be 350, and you are near 100 over that, which is Much more than mine is.
Well, again, I think Avatar will do a lot for you.
We'll
So,
see. We will see.
I hope so. Gosh, Avatar better not. We don't need any more surprises this year, so I think Avatar will still do really well. I'm sick, like the people who are like, it's not even gonna hit $1 billion. I think that's ridiculous.
I will
so
see. I'm very
excited.
interested to see what the short.
Reception?
What is
Oh.
it? I do think we're going to see some effect with seeing it so back to back compared
Yeah.
to
I think that's fair.
original. I'm curious to see how much that's going to do.
I don't know. My only thing is, yeah, maybe it's lower, but I'm hoping the effect isn't super big because the last film was so good. So it's maybe it doesn't have the hype from having to wait so long, but maybe the hype can be from how good the last film was. I don't know. I think we're gonna start seeing more of that conversation when the reception starts to come out, and then when those opening number predictions start coming out, I'm excited for that. I'm hoping for more
Very curious.
Zootopia 2 type headlines, like this is highest opening weekend and blah 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 blah. It always feels fun to read. So,
Alrighty.
yeah.
I think that is going to wrap up our conversation on Zootopia 2. Like we said, you can see this right now in theaters, and we recommend that you do so. Please let us know your thoughts on that movie and what are some of your favorite animated movies of the year so far.
Yay.
Please let us know in the comments below. If you've made it this far and you're watching us on YouTube, please leave a like while you're here. We'd greatly appreciate that. And until the next time, I'm your host, Luke.
And I'm your other host, Alicia.
And thank you so much for watching Not So Straight Nerds.
Goodbye.